There was a mysterious deleted tweet on the official Marvel Strike Force Twitter account. What did it say? What does it mean? Which team is getting reworked? And are you ready for all the spider events happening this weekend? That and a lot more is coming up on your Marvel Strike Force Weekly News Update. This week, I am joined by my brother, Remanx. How are you, my friend?
What up, Valley? It is a good day, and it's all news to me. Let's go.
All right, let's go. Let's just get right into it. Let's talk about this mysterious deleted tweet from this morning at around 1:57 a.m. And it looks like it doesn't look like it's anything too revealing. A 2021 year in review. I'm thinking this is gonna be up later today. Maybe this got posted a little early. Maybe they had their auto tweets on and was like, oh shoot, that went out. This wasn't supposed to go out. And as we're recording that video, the year in review for 2021 actually did post on the official Marvel Strike Force YouTube page. So it looks like it was just the error. That tweet went out a little early. Taking a look at some of the things that was happening in 2021 in Marvel Strike Force, like the alternate costumes, some of the new characters we have, and it's actually a pretty nice video that was edited well together. So if you want to go check that out, it is on the YouTube page right now. It's not deleted anymore. Now, this is about 2021 year-end review. What are your thoughts overall on 2021 in Marvel Strike Force?
We were just talking about that before we started the news here.
Yeah,
it was definitely interesting. Like,
it's a lot of trash.
It's tough because Adam Warlock came out my favorite character and didn't meet my expectations because it's so hard when you get your favorite character to kind of check all the boxes. Like it's one of those things where I don't know if it's ever going to really meet your expectations. So if you have a favorite character, it might be coming out sooner or later this year.
We are talking about rumors. Yeah, we're talking about rumors later.
So I think you have to just measure your expectations because they can't get everything in those four abilities. Now, that being said, when we did the interview with Jason Bender, he said nothing was skippable, and I think everything in this year felt like it lived up to that. Come hell or high water, they kind of pushed that agenda, and it almost felt like this escalation process was never going to end. And so, looking back at the year, the game kind of was on life support going into October and November. And I think they're turning the corner with some new content that came out in December here. They started the new year with what's in their pocket dimension over here, and hopefully we start seeing more of that type of experimentation where there's more fun. But strike past release characters, all these things feel kind of weird. It's different than what the community expected, especially for the free-to-play players who aren't confident they're going to be able to get a character close enough to legendary to make a difference when it's still relevant.
Yeah, I 2021 I think was a negative year for Marvel Strike Force. Towards the end, it did start to get a little better, but I think the big thing that's different this year than last year, it seemed like there was no plan. Everything was so random, reactionary, trying to fix all these crazy amount of bugs that happened in 2021. It seems like we start to see the formulation of a plan. We had that late 2021 blog post, and it says, "Oh, there's a plan. We had a grand tournament coming," and we start to see some semblance of that. And I think going into this year, yes, there are some negatives that we will discuss, but I feel way more optimism going into this year than I was last year because it seems like there's a plan. We have some new game modes that we've already gotten to play in the tower mode. We're gonna get Pocket Dimension coming up in tomorrow, and who knows what else besides Grand Tournament is coming up, because I think Sean Dugan, when I did interview him, said there's some other things that we're working on as well. So we're really looking forward to what is going to happen in 2022, way more than 2021. There was some positives, but I think a lot of those got overshadowed by a lot of the negatives in the game.
But Red Stars not being correct. I mean, if you want to list like the negatives in 2021, like the Red Star drop rate not happening.
We only have an hour for this video, Remanx. There's a lot of negatives.
A couple of quick checks. The offers that were misleading. Thanos giving.
Oh my goodness. That's a bad.
I mean,
Lunar New Year in 2021. There's another bad event for Weapon X.
And I think it wasn't the 3,000 orbs 2021 or is that 2020? You know what? I don't remember.
No. You know what? That's in the past. Let's move forward and talk about what is going on this year. Now I got a meme sent to me this morning on the Valley Club. I don't know if you've seen it, so hopefully I get your reaction. Did you do? All right, watching Remanx open orbs. It's nice. Vince likes it a little. Watching Mobile Gamer open Red Star orbs, it's a little more satisfying, but then there was a video I did on Spider-Punk orb opening and was very bad, very trashy, was very frustrating. And I did, I try to be positive on this channel, not let my emotions get the better of me. They got the better of me that day. And yes, it was a bad orb opening. So what are your thoughts on the Red Star orbs right now? Why have they not been fixed in so long? I'll tell you what my prediction or my thoughts were, that there were so many issues going on in 2021 that they weren't able to fix some of these quality of life changes back then. Hopefully with some of these things the game I feel is in a better place. Hopefully we get some changes to the Red Star system. What are your thoughts on that whole system?
So overall, I think the system is outdated. I think that I've never been a huge fan of it, even though I've obviously invested a large sum of money. I revealed that on one of TDub videos this year.
Ouch.
I revealed how much I spent.
Was it painful to find that amount out?
So anyway, you know what? With what we do, we kind of always know because we kind of have to have our kind of pulse on it.
Yes.
So it wasn't like it was a huge surprise, but it's still a lot. It's still at the end of the day, it's still kind of eye-opening. But Red Stars never really checked it because they always felt like almost there's no real agency, there's no real power in what are you clicking on that Kestra with a 194 in there?
Because I don't have a 7 gold star Kestra, so it means nothing. So.
Oh, okay. So that's a big Okay, fair.
Yeah.
And I think that and good luck with the premium orbs. You're going to go gamble on those.
Oh my goodness.
And so that's the thing is realistically, there's no honest path to say I can upgrade a character in the window when they're most meaningful.
Yes.
And so for instance, when a character release, you have between I think it's like 9 and 11 days. For the release window for when they have the rate up. Okay. And you may never see another rate up in that. So you have to, then you have the promotion store. Well, the promotion store is RNG. It's what appears for the upgrade. You have to use cores to do it. It may be months before you see the character you're looking for based on that. Cersei came out 3 weeks ago and people just started seeing Cersei and they were using a core a day. And I felt terrible because it seems like it's just, there isn't a clear path to make sure that these characters are relevant. I think they're losing players. I think they're losing people are losing confidence in buying teams overall and assembling teams when they get low red stars. And I think it's a big miss. And so they have to take a look at it.
I think they are losing players, but there are also people that love the gambling, or maybe not love the gambling, but will do the gambling to get what they want, and they're making money that way in the short term. But I think long term, the frustration that it gives players is losing Scopely money in the long term, keeping their players. And I think this is the system that needs to be changed, not just for the players to have more fun in the game, but also Scopely's long-term profits in this game. Now, the Elite Store, it is, you talked about it. Cersei popped up a few weeks ago. Some people have never seen her. Is this Elite Store even necessary? I mean, there's been a lot of requests from the community for a long time now to go to this roster screen and be able to upgrade our characters immediately as they are. Yeah, just like we do with gear. When we get our shards, we can upgrade them immediately. Why do we still have to wait for this stupid Elite Store? I mean, before this Elite Store was reworked in, I think it was April of 2020.
April 1st.
I think it came on the 15th, but the announcement was on the 1st, something like that. It's around that time, about 2 years ago, when a character was released in the game, they were immediately in that store. We could, if we missed on our red star orb opening, we could purchase the stars with the silver promotion credits to get the stars that we needed, just to get them to a usable level. Why was that taken out, and why do we still have this Elite Store? Why can't we upgrade characters immediately right now? I know short-term profit, it helps them, but again, long-term profits.
And to be clear, I agree with you, Valley. I mean, now that they have the gold promotion credits they're selling now, and silver promotion credits, I think they would probably sell more with people to have that, because, you know, like I would
spend more. I would spend more.
Yeah, I probably would have bought the gold promotion credits because I would have had it for Icarus. And now I'm debating whether even Icarus is a long-term solution for anything realistically, because I'm still winning with him at five red. So
they missed out on an impulse buy of those gold promotion credits by not having him available in the store. Good move, Scopely.
Well, and I think there's some element of this where team acquisition, feeling like you're progressing your roster is always being held back by red stars. You know, you have 2 red stars on Spider-Punk, and you don't feel like your web warriors may be as worth as the investment because it feels bad, right? It's just, you know, and
when is he going to hop in a store? When can I fix this problem? This gambling. 6 weeks from now is when he will be in that pool. When is he going to hop in my store?
Right.
I don't know.
And that's the other problem. And how many cores are you willing to throw at it? And see, this is where they're calculating it, right? They know that people throw cores at it. They know people, but they don't realize that when people are doing that there are enough players that just get fed up that move on to something else.
Yeah, I don't think they take that into their equation of their profits.
I'll say this out loud, Valley. Yag, Cindy, Gorilla, you know, some of the top 10 players in Marvel Strike Force, they've all quit the game over red stars.
And even valuable community members that did, you know, Veronius used to do all the spreadsheets for you because of their limiting offers. He left as well. How many other players have left because of trashy systems like this? The short-term greed.
He left because of the strike pass, Veronius.
Yeah, but the short-term greed from Scopely is affecting their long-term profits. I would argue that, and I don't see their numbers. I don't have access to that, but that's kind of the feeling that I'm getting as a player, and just seeing by the numbers of the channel and knowing all the people that quit. I think that they're shooting themselves in the foot. Now, I don't want to keep harping on these negatives because I did a video on some solutions earlier this week. What would you say are some of these big solutions that you would want to see implemented to fix this system?
Direct promotions and speeding up the release into the store. Like I remember, I actually really liked when a character was available in the promotion store on the day of release for the red stars, and then it allowed, and so I think because of the fact that they had this where people were able to get promote and maybe I'm part of the problem, right? Is looking at 52.7 red stars and the amount of characters I bought, the amount of red star offers I bought, maybe I am part of the problem. But in order to live where I do in the top alliances to be able to be competitive, you kind of, it's that mosh pit. You get in there and you don't know how to get out.
Yeah, it's a tough solution, but hopefully they just implement some of these changes. Bringing these characters back right away, bringing up some agency that we don't have to get RNG on top of RNG, just the RNG maybe on certain things, and then we can upgrade the characters that we want and not have to rely on them popping up in the store whenever they pop up. I mean, it's sometimes it's over a month before they're added to the store when it actually pops up in your store. So it's kind of a tricky situation. Now let's move on from red stars. Hopefully this is fixed this year. I'm going to keep pushing for this to be fixed because this does not feel good. Sometimes you get something really lucky on a good character and you get something really bad on a good character. I would like a little more consistency across the board, so you get at least characters to a usable level. But let's move on to all these spider events coming up this week. This one, she is returning. How did you do on this spider-gwen Blitz? Go Spider Blitz.
Well, see, here's the problem I have is I didn't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable like going really hard on the blitzes because the community helps support my account, and so I always kind of just I think I wound up in like I want to say 11%, whatever it was pretty high up there, but I honestly just I took the time to spend with my family and let people with smaller rosters get up there because I really looked at the top and the number of Krakens in there. It was shocking. These are people that would normally have they didn't like to blitz, but now they're blitzing for characters.
Yeah, I mean the last blitz we had, I think the release character was Maria, and then we had that weird release with cloak and dagger and the luminous orbs and things like that. So we really haven't had one for a while. I was wondering what the score would be, and it was pretty high. The cutoff for the 1%, which is what you need to get a decent Ghost Spider and get those stars on her, 52.6 million, which is a lot higher than the last time. That's
insane. That's not attainable for most rosters, and even some of the free to play that have been doing this for a while are starting to feel to fall behind. Yeah. The 2-hour alarms. Jeez.
So do you think Blitz is going away in 2022? I mean, that's a lot of time to be spent in a game, and there's been many times that devs have said they want the players to be spending about 2 hours, no more than that, because then it could lead to burnout in the game. But just blitzing alone, or just certain raids alone, is taking up a lot of time. So do you think that there is going to be a solution coming, or removing the importance of Blitz sometime in 2022?
So there's three factors, right? There's engagement, there's fun, and there's what they say and what they mean, right? So let's do this really quickly. So they want engagement. They want people to be engaged. They measure how much time people spend, and that's on it. They have that as a measurement. That's part of what mobile games look at as engagement
equals fun to Scopely.
Well, engagement equals profit. Engagement equals the metrics that they look at when they're selling their games and creating this. So fun, they believe that engaged players should be having fun, because that's what they say. But the reality of it is, people are having fun are more engaged. And so they got it backwards. And that's something that I think they're going to see when they look at the results from Pocket Dimension and from Tower Mode. I think they're going to see that when players are having fun and feeling challenged, that they're going to be more engaged in what's happening. And I think they put the engagement too high up before they put it above the fun. And so what they probably say is they want 2 hours, but they want players to average 2 hours. So let's be realistic with if the median or the average doesn't check that box, you're going to feel that pressure in some areas. And free to play has to spend more time to make up for the amount of money that can be spent on the game, and that's just time or money. Either way, you're paying something for Marvel Strike Force.
Well, it's not just free to play. There's spenders that haven't been playing for these 4 years. They've been playing maybe 2 years, and they need a route to catch up as well. So what is the solution? Because with Blitz, it's a lot of time, zero fun. It is mindless grinding. I could say the same about the Greek raids. I could say about a lot of the content in this game. What is fun is a challenge, solving problems, like you mentioned, Tower Mode. So is there a way to bring some engagement, some fun back to Blitz, or is that what Tower Mode is supposed to be for?
I think what they could do is, instead of just having these like they'd extend the milestones, so maybe even have less of the rewards in like the top 1% or whatever, and extend milestones out. Instead of it just being 21, why not make it like 70 or something like that? So there's more just from doing the milestones and having a score. So it isn't one of those things where you're like you can be a milestone blitzer, still get a significant amount and participate, and have it be part of that allocation of a day that they're trying to attain without being crazy, or maybe have a refresh every 24 hours. Something along those lines, where it isn't just, do your scores. Because I will tell you, the worst thing that can happen is somebody who spends their entire time planning on getting a star on this, missing it, and significantly missing it. And then there's that realization that they may never be able to get those scores again. And they look at their account and they go, should I bother putting it into it? And you see that, the people that are quitting are the ones that are looking at time and money spent and see if it's still worth it. And I worry that Blitz still hasn't checked enough boxes to be valuable.
I think I like that solution that you mentioned. Putting and even going further, making the majority of the rewards tied to milestones, making less of the rewards tied to the ranking rewards, so people wouldn't feel the need to get these crazy 100,000 scores in Blitz. If there were less ranking rewards, more milestone rewards, people could get the rewards they want. They know exactly what the target they need to hit for that. And then if you get some extra in the ranking rewards, that's just bonus. I think that would solve some Blitz issues as well. Allow players to get the shards that they need, make it accessible to players, and then if people want to grind for some extra rewards, then do that. But yeah, switching up the system, I think would be helpful. Now you mentioned,
that's the problem. Is like it doesn't look like they're trying to give us more shards of characters with the.
We're gonna mention this patch. This patch is actually decreasing the shards that we're getting. But I did want to mention the other mode in Blitz that's not showing up right now because it's gone. But Tower mode was here last week. I thought it was fun. I know a lot of endgame players thought it was fun that had the roster to complete that, but some players were left out of Tower mode because they didn't have the roster to get to these certain amount of floors. What are some solutions you think that could fix Tower mode, not for mid-game players, early game players, to make it fun for them as well in the next time they have a Tower mode?
Well, they've got a beginner Blitz, right? So why not have a beginner like Tower? Something where it extends your roster. I guess the problem with that is somebody who that should be participating in the top tier, they go down to the bottom tier and shift that. So there's three things about Tower mode that I thought were really important, right? One, there was a decent amount of gold if you can get to milestone 50. I mean, that was like a gold orb Blitz. Like if we had that recurring once a month, that could be enough gold to start enhancing some of your roster that's been kind of sitting at the bottom for a while. Two is it preps you for Tower mode. So I think the ultimate thing was it had to push the folks that were sitting on there going, maybe my Ravagers aren't worth it, or maybe this character isn't worth it, and then realizing, oh wait, Ravager Boomer has a rewind. If I can get the speed ahead of this, I can use his rewind here. Oh, he's actually pretty valuable for some of these little, and the theory crafting that was happening was amazing
for us. And I think, mid game players, early game players didn't get that theory crafting.
What I'm telling you is, they have to figure out a way to extend that to the middle brackets and the beginner brackets.
Exactly.
They have to figure out how to extend that, and I don't think it's going to be an easy solution. But I do think that this was a starting point.
Well, do you think just having different, maybe 3 game modes, an easy, so scaling down to enemies, less rewards, a medium, scaling down the exact same thing, less enemies, medium rewards, and then keeping the current iteration for the end game players? Do you think that would be an easy solution?
Like the strike pass, almost, where there's different levels of the strike pass, where you participate based on those strike pass you select, right? Mm-hmm. There's 3 different strike passes based on your level and your.
I didn't know that.
you can select different strike passes.
Okay.
So
do you think just selecting different towers or being able to select different towers?
Maybe it's tied to the strike mode. That the strike pass. You select the strike pass and tower that you want to complete each time you go in there. So it's definitely something where they've got to look at that.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to an event that is coming up, or it's going on right now. This Fresh Horizons event for Scarlet Spider, and I completed all these. I know some people completed it all in the first day, which is a lot of gold used up. What are your thoughts on this event? Was this milestone event for Fresh Horizons? Was it too easy? Was it just right? I know there's some players that aren't able to upgrade the characters all on day one, but what are your thoughts on this event? The difficulty of these shards.
It was easy. It was easy enough to attain. There's decent amount of rewards in there. It isn't
easy though. Is it?
Right? If you break it down, I think if you do the average gold spend per day, and I think Yule Tidebringer has that calculator, it was right on par with that. So it felt like you weren't having to extend too much of it. Again, everything I see right now is literally that these teams are being built for Grand Tournament. Grand Tournament is either going to save this game or be another miscalculation by Scopely. And I think having a wider roster and kind of looking at that, this is what the foundation that they're going to be building Grand Tournament on. So I think being able to build some of the characters maybe that were sitting at the bottom of your roster while still earning shards for this, and all the people I talked to, most of them were done within the first 4 or 5 days. Did you talk to anybody who hasn't finished this yet?
We haven't discussed anybody not finishing it, but I mean, most people aren't like, this is a hard, I'm not going to be able to complete this. They're like, oh yeah, I got a lot of time. I could by normally upgrading my characters, we could do this. But there was a lot of people that did it right like the first hour.
Yeah, well, where's my Scarlet Spider is a question that people are asking, right? And I'm glad Pocket Dimension's coming out to answer some of that.
Yes, and we will discuss the pocket dimensions. All right, so as far as the pocket dimension, I think the biggest miss here, you need that resolute tag to get into the pocket dimensions, but I think the biggest miss here, why is Yelena not having the resolute tag? Why is she not available for this game mode? I think there's a big miss on Scopely's part.
Yelena
Belova.
Why?
Because it's a pocket dimension, Remanx. Come on.
Oh my God!
Oh my God! Don't you get the dad jokes? You're supposed to be the dad joke guy. Come on now. Jeez.
That was so bad. I was like, oh man, here comes some salt, and I was like, okay, right. I got it. Got pocket.
All right. Anyway, I was trying to dad joke you back, and it went whoa. All right.
Wow, man. Okay.
You didn't expect that from me, did you? All right.
Yeah. Wow. I expect the Omega Red, but this was
let's discuss Omega Red, because a lot of players did not get Omega Red on this first run. So leaving Omega Red out, who do you think are the best 5 for this pocket dimension?
So the characters you're using every day. So Miles and Scarlet Spider, if you have Scarlet Spider unlocked, right?
Okay.
Potentially Magic and Storm. I think Multiple Man has some amazing value with the fact that he's going to keep spawning clones and summons and be able to pluck the buffs off. And then I think even Star-Lord might have a resurgence. Shuri, because I still use her in the Doom raids, right? And she's almost essential for the tech node to get the defense up and make sure your characters are alive. And then the most important character is this, and we got dev confirmation yesterday. I don't know if you knew this, but Lori messaged me. I've been asking her for the past week about whether or not Cersei would, and we assumed that Cersei was going to have her Dark Dimension bonuses.
Yes.
But she 100% does in the Pocket Dimension. So she's the centerpiece. She's the character you're going to be building off of.
Yeah, no, I always thought that it would be available there. I know some people are questioning it, but it's good that we got confirmation on that.
Just wanted official confirmation before we made the suggestion. That's kind of what I was holding back on. I didn't want to make a video and say, build up, make sure you have Cersei ready to go. Yeah. But yeah, she is obviously the big piece of the puzzle.
Now, the other thing that we're getting on this is a 24-hour cooldown, like the normal Dark Dimensions. Do we know how long this pocket dimension is lasting? Is it 7 days?
It said 7 days, I believe.
Okay. I thought it was 7 days. So, and there's going to be a 24-hour window in between that before your between your first and second run, which means pretty much you have 6 days to do this thing. Why did they include that there? Is it to make the event difficult, or is that just the way it's coded and the devs didn't want to go back and do this?
It's just the way it was coded, and I think what they did is they wanted to kind of create an environment where it was similar, and I think the 24-hour lockout prevents like some issues from like characters being reused that might have died at the last node, so they'll be fully restored from the previous. So, and I think it's because reward coding or something like that is like if you beat it in two moves. There's something to it.
So if it was supposed to be for 7 days and we have the 24-hour cooldown, why don't they extend it to 8 days and to make it a total 7 days without that 24-hour period? I know for people with larger rosters, you might breeze through this very quickly, not even an issue. I'm thinking of those mid-game players that don't have the roster, maybe don't have Omega Red, don't have Cersei built up at a level. They're going to struggle with this. That 24-hour cooldown is going to be important for them. Do you think that the devs can extend this? Do you think they will extend this by 1 day for those people?
I mean, it's one of those things where I don't know that they'll extend it. I think they kind of want to push people in to kind of get it done and kind of have that time, like, you're on the clock here. I think it would be a good thing to extend it by 1 day. But at the end of the day, I think people are still going to miss it at day 8. And I think no matter what, there's going to be people that are left out if they can't do this. I do think it's easier than we think. So I went through the stats. There's less health overall. There's less health. There's more damage. They're higher level. And so when I went through all the stats on it, the only thing I saw, there's like things like in the last node, there's a base dodge rate
of ultra, like 40% dodge rate. My goodness.
Yeah, and cap. There's some characters on there that are basically designed to kind of enhance that. But I don't think, looking at their numbers, You know, they've got some base damage reduction. I don't think that it's going to be so crazy where you're going to be like, oh my god, if I don't have a Mega Red, I lose. You know, or you know, I think the majority of people are probably going to beat it in 3 days.
What about people without Omega Red and Cersei? Do you think it's still possible for them to beat that in that time?
We'll play around with some combinations.
All right.
You know, I'm
you'll test it so we don't have to.
Yeah, it is going to be something. I like doing that kind of like, you know, like trying that challenge out at the bottom of my roster, because then I know what other rosters might be capable of. So we'll have to see, you know, like Red Skull and some of the other characters.
Groot. Groot? Do you think Groot could be a thing?
You know what's funny about that is if you look at,
he gets death proofs, defense ups.
If you look at those characters though, those are all characters that are rumored for a rework over the year, aren't they?
Let's go look at it.
Or recently reworked.
Well, Doctor Strange's not getting a rework ever because he's getting a brand new character.
We don't know. I mean, because Supernatural.
She might. We'll talk about this. The rumors of the Wakanda rework might be coming, but yeah. Before we move on to the reworks, the rewards. What are your thoughts on these rewards?
Well, I'm glad they specified that you're getting the completed pieces are huge. This is going to change my outlook for Dark Dimension 5 by a great deal.
Yes, so Cerebro did confirm 10 in both runs, 10 fully crafted orange, so from this pool here, and then 6 fully crafted from this pool here. So total, when you do 2 runs, you'll get that 5 for the first run for orange, and 3 for 5 each run in orange, and 3 each run in teal.
Yeah, so it's a big deal. So it's actually pretty good. And then 150 gold promotion credits.
That seems big. 7-star upgrade.
Yeah, and I guess I think that they're probably, that's why I don't think they're going to extend it a day, is because there's some pretty significant rewards.
Yeah, the thing that bothers me though is this right here for newer players. They could have included that in the first run, I think.
Yeah,
you get all these cool rewards later for if you want to really grind. As an event, I've said this before. As an event, this is awesome. As a character release, not very awesome. No. All right, any other thoughts on this before we move on to the next event coming?
Good luck. We'll definitely see how different rosters. I encourage you to check all the content creators in Marvel Strike Force. Check them all out. They're all going to have different versions of rosters. This is a really good chance for you to check in with a lot of folks that may have rosters that mirror yours. So, you know, there's a lot of others, and we can maybe suggest some on our channels over the next few weeks or a few days here, so you guys can get kind of a look at what they're doing. Because I think that's, you know, my roster probably going to breeze right through it. But you know, there's definitely a lot of people that are probably closer to.
You said you were going in with like not your best characters though, right? Not taking Omega Red, not taking his Cersei, like building up Yondu, other characters just on purpose to test them out.
Yeah, but right? I have a larger pool, so even if I fail, I'll still have a bigger pool to fall back on.
Gotcha.
So it'll be interesting to see what, you know, how the other, because there's some people that have spreadsheets on this to kind of, you know, it's really interesting to see what the rest of the community has kind of created on this. And I bravo for the community for taking interest in this and hopefully giving you guys some awesome tools.
Yeah, this is the kind of stuff that's exciting. This excites me. Not doing another Blitz, not another Gamma thing. This
we need
is
more
fun.
of this.
I like this. This is fun for me. Just not as a character release event. All right, but speaking of character release events, the next member of the Web Warriors is coming same day as Pocket Dimension. We're getting a lot of events this week. Do you have anything planned this weekend, or is it just on your phone the whole weekend?
I mean, most of the stuff I go through pretty quickly. It's just once you beat it, you auto play it. I will say that we're definitely going to take a look at it and go through the storyline. But I like these orbs. Holy cow, these are the best orbs we had in a while. Have you seen what's inside the orbs?
Which are the rock and roll orbs?
Yeah, they're not terrible.
I did not. Let's go look at it right now. But
dude, they're awesome. They're it's actually some decent characters in there.
The Rebel orbs, right? The Rebel orbs?
Yeah, the Rebel orbs.
All right, let's see what we got here. I haven't even looked at this. So what do we got? Oh, wait, let me go down to a different amount. Now, what are your thoughts on this event? Because some of the events, like Scarlet Spider, Magic, during this patch, have released less shards than we're used to. Do you think we're going to get less shards in this event for Spider-Punk, or is it going to be like a normal event release character where we're getting a lot of good shards for these? A decent amount of shards for these characters.
I expect this to be normal.
Normal.
And I think,
I hope you're right. I hope you're right, Remanx.
To be clear, I think they're moving away from the strike pass and more like events like this, and maybe they're definitely feel like they're trying something. But you got Captain Sam in there, you got some Dad Bros in there, you've got a lot of legendary characters. You got Misty and Colleen Wings. There's so many Moon Knights in there. There's so many good characters in this orb compared to others. Even. That it's
Taskmaster.
definitely
That's Taskmaster. They look the same. That's Taskmaster.
I'm talking Captain Sam.
Oh, I thought you said Moon Knight. Anyway.
The Moon Dragon.
Moon Dragon. Oh, I see. We're not hearing each other today.
Maybe I said it wrong. Maybe I said.
I don't know. Moon Dragon's really good. She's unfarmable. I like it.
Yeah. So
I didn't even notice that.
So there's a legendary. So there's a bunch of legendary release characters in here. This is actually one of the best orbs we've had in a long time from an event orb, in my opinion.
Oh my goodness! I hope they give us a lot of shards for this normal amount of shards and not be stingy like with Scarlet Spider and Magic.
It'll depend on the duration of the event. They've gone as few as 12 days of some of these events, and that's where it gets a little fuzzy with the math of being able to get that.
Didn't you go really long with Heimdall because of some?
Yeah, and so they've gone as long as 18 days. So
I hope this event is bugged and they go 18 days with this one.
Yeah, I expect between 14 and 16 days is usually what we get.
That'll be good. That'll be good. Now, I do want to ask you if do you think there's a reason why we're getting less shards during this patch? For some of the characters, I mean, Ghost Spider seems like a normal type of event, but a normal type of Blitz. But what do you think there's a reason that we're getting a little less shards for some of these characters this patch, like Magic or Scarlet Spider during their event?
I don't know. I feel like maybe these are replacing the strike pass. I really don't have enough insight. Maybe these guys will wind up in a strike pass and the battle pass in a few weeks, so that they know they'll sell them, because we've been asking where they are, and if one's in a battle pass and one's in a strike pass, we're like, oh, there they are. Gotcha. But I don't know. The strike pass is really threw the whole community for a loop as far as what to expect for releases, and I think that's been one of the big challenges is just not knowing what their plan is for the rest of the release, because we're used to getting four-ish on a release character if you maximize the event and have the chorus to go for it. So it's definitely different this time.
Wait, I thought you're supposed to get an easy 6 or 7 star during these events.
A 5, easy 5 or 6.
Wrong?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Good.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well.
All right. And next, we have another event coming that we don't know about, because there's another character coming this patch, and we don't know. We saw kind of a preview of something, but then that got removed. But what do you think is going to be the release method for Star-Lord T'Challa? Is it going to be having something to do with that Nowhere heist that we saw briefly when this patch was released, or do you think that's something else?
I wonder if he's the Blitz event character. Like we had with so maybe he's more like the event character like we saw with Shang-Chi and Cersei and all that stuff. I don't know. Or Icarus, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're talking like grinding Blitz? Play some Blitz wins and not score?
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely, because that would mean like if you use a Nowhere heist characters and in different modes, you get extra points. So maybe that's why we saw those characters tagged. I just don't know.
Wasn't there 5 characters tagged in that originally? There's like Ebony Maw.
It was 5 characters tagged originally.
Very weird combination. So I'm assuming it has something to do with that. That got removed because they wanted to keep it secret. But do you think this is going to be a friendly character release as far as shards for free-to-play players, or do you think this is going to be something similar to Magic and Scarlet Spider, like this event, like this patch?
God, I'll be honest, Valley. They're going to be a fun war team, right? T'Challa probably has some use in the tech notes, and we've already tested him on the test server. He has a unique ability that probably sets him apart from anything that's been in the game so far.
Will he replace any of the standard characters?
Potentially. And the potential is how much of a star can we get on him? So I guess my overall concern is, do we get him at a level that he's usable? So I hope that it's an event that's player friendly after the last 2. That's it.
I hope there's this way to get some red stars on him that makes him kind of usable.
Yeah, he's definitely, so he's one of those characters that gets really good with red stars. He's he almost needs them for him to function with Doom.
Well, and there's rumors of him maybe being on another team. There's been rumors of a what if team.
Yeah.
We know already that Doctor Strange outfit that we see is gonna earlier last year or later, sometime last year. It's going to be released as a standalone character, so we know there's going to be a what if team. This is a what if character, so do you think down the road there might be that relationship with this and maybe providing some solution for tech or maybe another war team? Or do you think this is the team he ends up on or something related to that what if team?
Placeholder. I think what's interesting is he can make another team good and then have his real team that's usable in other modes.
Okay.
And what's interesting about that is when they can kind of plug and play in different teams.
Yeah.
I think that's cool for, when we talk about the grand tournament. So I do feel like there's going to be a team that comes out soonish.
Okay. I've got the impression that you know something that you can't say.
I don't know anything. I don't know. I only speculate. I never know anything because it's easier that way, so I can speculate and have fun with it. But he definitely feels like he could be a what if member. There's that Guardians of the Multiverse that's been talked about. It just kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah. And I gotta say, I'm looking forward to that grand tournament, and I think it gives me some hope that they haven't released it yet. They haven't released it, rushed it like they did with RTA. They said they're gonna give the envoys a chance to play test this before it comes out. We haven't play tested it, which means it's way down the road, and that gives me hope because they waited and they delayed ISO 8 Green, and that was well received by the community. So I hope they do the same with grand tournament. But let's move on. We're talking about T'Challa here. And there was a post that said to fix the Wakandan team on Reddit.
Yes.
Coincidentally. And guess what? Cerebro said, if there's only a Wakandan themed movie coming out this year that we could support. Now, Black Panther 2 is supposed to be coming out later this year. Does this Reddit comment all but confirm that the Wakandans are getting reworked? Are they going to be the premier raid team that they're supposed to be?
They're not going to be a raid team.
They're not going to be a raid team.
One thing I'll tell you is the
premier raid team.
One thing I'll tell you is, and they were on paper for about 15 minutes until U7 came out, right?
I don't even know if they lasted 15 minutes, honestly.
It was 15 minutes. But at the end of the day, I think that what they do is when they bring out like the characters, they kind of repurpose them. So they can add different characters to the team that give them different modes. So this is an opportunity to do something like that, where maybe they have some additional war bonuses and bring Killmonger back to the team, or obviously Black Panther, do something with him, and maybe M'Baku. But there's definitely a lot with the MCU that we're going to see tie-ins. We're already starting to see that with the what if Doctor Strange and the Eternals. We're getting back to that pace where these MCU releases are kind of helping decide where the game's footprints are, and it feels like they're getting back in their groove, or finding their groove. If you never thought they were in one to begin with, so hopefully they can use that and hopefully answer some of these questions. But I don't think Cerebro would tease that without saying that it's probably in development.
Yeah, I mean, we know the movie's coming out. Now, my other question is, do you think this includes a rework to Black Panther himself? Because Chadwick Boseman did pass away. They said they're not recasting it. There may be another Black Panther coming, but T'Challa is probably also passed away in the MCU. So do you think Black Panther is also getting a rework, or it's just going to be limited to characters like Shuri, maybe M'Baku, Okoye? Bringing some other
I would hope that Black Panther gets reworked in some way. I mean, they would honor the character, maybe have a Chadwick Boseman theme in on it. Like really kind of like high def, high resolution.
That'd be good.
Like honoring his spirit. And something along those lines really could be could be there. And I think the movie's probably going to feature him in a way that makes sense, right? So I think the part of the movie is going to be their way of mourning the passing of Chadwick Boseman.
As I was saying that, I just noticed this comment here, similar to how you rework Wanda and Vision for WandaVision. Oh, wait, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. That wasn't a movie. That was a TV show on Disney Plus.
And they never teased that, right? They never talked about that as far as
he did it.
and even more importantly, that was something that came out of sync because it was pushed up on the schedule because of the fact that there was some COVID concerns. So they moved it up and they moved Falcon Winter Soldier back. So I think that's the reason why Captain Sam was probably data mineable, right? And was left in the files because there was that shift. So and knowing that Wanda and Vision may have another opportunity at rework coming soon.
Got it. All right.
It'd be strange if we didn't see that with all the metaverse. It would be madness if they didn't do it.
I feel like you're dropping hints on us, Robert. Let me know what you think all that Remanx just said means in the comments. All right. Cerebro left another comment on this stuff. Here's the mention. So when are we getting the 100 shards for Tadano Mac? It's been ages. It's been about 2 months or so since he's finished Dark Dimension 5. The one of the blog posts around that time said he had 7 business days to give in his entries with a 100 shard character, the blitzes. That's been a long time ago, and we got a response from Cerebro a few days ago. We're currently working on finalizing the plan for DD5 Celebration Rewards. Stay tuned. I thought it was going to be in last week's blog post. It was not. Do you think we're going to get the announcement this week, tomorrow, in the blog post?
I hope so. I mean, to be clear, I think it's going to be tied into the next Legendary. I think they're going to tie it to the next Legendary. I think we're going to get that whole Legendary preview and this all at the same time. I think maybe if they found what happened with the Yags, that was a really good thing that happened with the community, right? When the Yags won with the Ghost.
Okay, so do you think they're waiting for that announcement of the thing? Because according to the blog post, it said it had 7 business days from him completing Dark Dimension 5 to submit his entries.
Yeah,
so the entries probably were submitted already.
So submitting that, you got to remember. So he submits that. The stakeholders get together. They got to get their opinions on it. It comes back. They have another couple of meetings, and then the stakeholders will decide whether or not it's in there. And then they've got to submit it for review, and then they got to put it out to multiple languages. And so, we're probably close to when the announcement will happen. It's you have to understand the communication for stuff like this there's a lot of moving parts on it, right? Because they want to make sure they have the polls ready to go and enabled for the right characters for the characters that are used. Because it's they kind of they got to check it off. They're going to look and see if the legendary requirements are going to check it, if that's going to change anything that they want to do. They're going to look and just make sure they got the release on it. And there's probably ways that they wanted to make this work for the community. I hope, like they did with the last one with the selection orb, right?
Yes, with Cull and Ghost, who were valuable at the time, but looking back, not. We got
legendaries. We got legendaries as a result. I mean,
Ghost. Yes, that's true. It did help to unlock.
I would say, what is it? Jubilee was.
Jubilee is is the pimp tag.
Jubilee wound up being so important in this game, especially with her anchoring the one of the most important raid teams. That I'm so glad it happened. Yes,
that was actually a good move. All right. DD5, where are you at right now? There's 8 people that have finished Dark Dimension 5 as of this.
47. I think I'm at 47. Maybe there's people that passed me. I'm close to that.
What node is that? What node is 47
so I finished,
right now?
I'm a little bit. I'm 49. So I finished the cities. So I did the first 6 nodes.
Okay. Do you have your globals ready?
Close. Yeah, I'm waiting on a couple pieces. I'm still making some decisions. I'm kind of waiting to see what happens with what I get from the pocket dimension before I commit to any other pieces.
Okay, that's smart. Next, Ock Returned this week. Are you still using this character today? Is this still an important character that people should be pushing to get?
Yes. Yeah. I think he's probably fading from the tech a little bit as far as the tech node efficiency. I think if there's a tech villain team that comes out, but I think he's still one of the top choices for legendary for the Dark Dimension by far.
Okay. And I guess that tech is kind of by default. He doesn't seem very good in the tech section of Doom for me. I don't know. Maybe yours is bigger than mine, but he's kind of there by default. There's Kestrel and Doom, and that's about it.
Mine is bigger than yours. It's 7 red star. 7 red star.
Oh my goodness.
So it's
One
seven
of our
red star.
many 7 red star characters.
No, but I definitely upgraded him early on when he was released because he just felt really valuable. And it's one of those things where the slow that he can provide, his summon's not too bad, right? It winds up being pretty powerful. And then finally, the regens are pretty potent. The reason why I think it's lost some value is I think they built the raid to kind of counter what we had. So Silver Surfer comes in there and gives you heal block, and so the regens are relatively useless. Polaris flips them to bleeds on the first node if you don't time it correctly. And I think the boss node. I think there's some pieces of the puzzle that it's very clear that they definitely kind of decided, hey, I know what you're gonna use. Here's the 5 things that counter it. Enjoy.
Yeah, it seems like Silver Surfer, it seems evident now, Silver Surfer wasn't meant for us to use. He was meant to be a raid character, because right now there's no team, and he's very, very tough in the raid. So,
he's a gatekeeper. I get what you're doing. You know what, I'm going to say this out loud. If you're thinking about upgrading any characters, don't. Wait till you go to the next level of Doom Raid, and then you're going to find a character that's getting deleted by Silver Surfer, and that's the character you promote with your silver or gold promotion credits. To be clear, that's what's happening. He literally is there as no, you're not allowed to use that character, because he just deletes the character. It's fun. It's funny-ish until it happens for like a few months, and you're waiting for the next deck team. And now you're building a bio team that probably came out a little bit too early for that we wish the tech team came out before. But they make money off this mode. It's always
make money off of this mode. Don't stop making it off of red stars and gambling.
Well, they gotta make money off everything, buddy. You know that.
I know, but I think long term they'll make more money.
Anyway, I think you're right.
Anyway, this blog post, it did get some positive reviews because of the new formatting of all these events across Reddit. What are your thoughts on this? We got the exact time, exact dates, formatted like this. Very easy to see. These bullet points, I like this. Do you hope this is the method of describing our bonus and flash events going forward?
This is welcome. This is welcome because you didn't have to do the long-winded dad jokes in there. It's just label them, bullet point them, and move on. Because the information is easy to access and easy to see, and it's the stuff people are looking for. It's, when we talked about this before. When you talk to the community, there's like 3 questions they ask us. What's the next character coming out, right?
Yep.
When are we getting this resource that we need, right? And when am I getting more gold and more stuff, right? So this answers it in bullet points without being confusing.
Yeah, I like it. Cerebro, keep formatting stuff like this. I'm not seeing anything negative about this, so keep doing it. All right, next. A few weeks ago, we have this Twitter message here. This coming in 2022 apocalypse. Yes. Now, I think it's pretty obvious it's apocalypse. Just for devil's advocate,
it's 100% apocalypse.
Could it be someone else? Could it be somebody else? It's 100% apocalypse. All right, so if there's apocalypse...
I just want to say this out loud. That's his symbol. Those are the 4 horsemen. It is apocalypse.
Okay.
If we're misinterpreting anything on this, shame on you.
All right. So now that it's out of the way, it is apocalypse. 100% according to Remanx. What is your hype level for apocalypse, considering the horsemen? Could this be the legendary of all legendaries that many have been speculating would eventually come to the game? Is this the guy that's gonna rule everything in Marvel Strike Force?
So he's been the next big bad that's been kind of hinted. Beast talked about survival of the fittest, and that's really kind of his mantra.
Okay.
And it's really part of kind of this teaser. So he might wind up, let's say Dark Dimension folds and they give a new mode, like a survival mode where survival of the fittest and get apocalypse. So we don't know. This could be the next legendary. It could be setting up for the next big bad. It could set the stage because it says 2022, setting the stage for kind of like an overarching theme in Marvel Strike Force.
Yeah,
so I don't
mutants, a lot of mutants in Marvel.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that this is, going to happen next patch, or if it's going to happen over time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking very, very late 2022, maybe even pushing. Actually, it should be 2022 according to this tease, but very, very late 2022, and that leads to some of the other rumors that we've been hearing about for a long time now. So, talking about these rumors, my friend. Let's talk about the first one because this leads right to Apocalypse. The rumored team next is Excalibur. With one of the next horsemen. Omega Red was rumored to be the first. The next rumored to be Angel, a part of this Excalibur team, along with the long-awaited Gambit, Rogue. Maybe for this Valentine's Day. They've been rumored for the last 2 Valentine's Day. Maybe they're coming for this Valentine's Day, along with a rework to Psylocke and Captain Britain. That is the rumors. What is your expectation for this team if it does come to the game? Where are they going to be used?
Everywhere.
Arena?
I think they're going to be quite a powerful team that'll probably have some utility. So right now we have the makings of Legendary Soup, right? We got the Eternals.
Yeah. Eternals in 3. Eternals in 3 is Arena right now.
So I believe that these will be impactful kind of everywhere. They'll probably be able to be plug and play in the raids. They'll probably have some synergy with
replacing the Axemen, or
no, they'll probably have some synergy. So I think they're going to be setting the stage for probably. The thing about the X-Men team is they've kind of been breaking them up and building them into different teams over time.
There's so many of them; they can't all be on one team.
Yeah, well, what's interesting about it is, I think the only team right now that's probably at its most decline is X-Force, right? I think that's
at the war offense, and they're very bad in other game modes.
Yeah. I think they're at the lowest decline, but everything else is kind of right. There's set the stage for, Magic and Storm are very powerful in concert with each other and kind of taking a war team. So I think there's definitely that potency, right? And I think that's what, if they do it right, they'll probably have the 4 horsemen kind of specialize in their own
teams,
in their own in their own teams and the way that they work too. So whatever their horseman is, if the horseman's war or death or stuff like that, then they'll probably kind of lean into that theme and set the stage for them becoming even more powerful when Apocalypse happens.
Now, my speculation all the way back when Thanos got his empowered state was we'll get Apocalypse, we'll get the Horsemen, they'll have the normal characters, normal teams, and then they'll have this empowered state to combine with Apocalypse having a separate kit. Is that where your head is going as well, or you got some other type of thoughts for this team?
So I think Apocalypse might be that first character that either is the tech mutant. He could very well be a tech mutant. And he also may be someone who enhances all mutants, right?
Okay.
So, and then he might have specific callouts with the characters, like they'll have something in their kit when Apocalypse is on the team. This character turns into this. So yeah, there's probably some specific ones, but I think he'll probably enhance all mutants.
Okay. I like that. All right, and moving on to the next rumor team, the West Coast Avengers, rumored to be coming in March. Reworks to War Machine, Hawkeye were mentioned. And there's a bunch of characters. I don't think they finalized the characters as far as rumors. Khazar was mentioned, Kate Bishop was mentioned, Tigra was mentioned, Wonder Man was mentioned, Mockingbird was mentioned. I'm not sure who is going to end up on this team or what this team is for. Now, regardless of who comes to the game on this team, what do you think this team would be for if we got the West Coast Avengers in Marvel Strike Force?
I almost think they're going to be a war offense or war defense team.
Oh, I hope it's not a war defense team. I hope it's not another war defense team. That was so tragic.
We're due for a war defense team.
Why can't we just have war teams? Remember the Sinister Six? Remember Wave 1 Avengers? How fun and how well received that was? Why can't we have more like that? Just war teams.
Remember, we've had that conversation. That I've been a massive advocate for just war bonuses, right? Let me play the character.
Why are they not doing that?
Make money off of war defense teams.
Not by fun though. It's not like I'm having fun. Here, take my money. It's this team sucks. Let me get this solution, and now it doesn't suck as bad, and I'm still frustrated and mad at the game. Why don't they just let us have fun and say, hey, take my money, take my money. I want that kind of game. It was that game at some parts.
I wonder if they can really ever make war something where everybody likes it, right? I think that's the problem. I think too many people don't like war still. I don't think the war changes made enough of an impact on war overall.
Well, honestly, the matchmaking has sucked. And instead of improving the matchmaking, they just said, hey, if you win or lose, the rewards are very similar. We can't fix the matchmaking, and let's just make the rewards a little more even. Is kind of what I thought my impression of the war was when they changed this reward structure.
Which is good, because it means that you're not penalized for participating if you're not doing that. But the thing about it is when you're not winning, you're not getting that currency, which is affecting your access to gear for DD5.
Yeah.
And so to me, the war changes, the end result was they just added 10 more or 2 more teams per bay. So they extended wars out. So I feel like they kind of fell a little bit flat overall for improving everybody's experience. I mean, it's not like it's terrible. It didn't make it more negative. I don't think they improved everybody's experience anymore.
All right. Well, that is that. I hope it doesn't end up war defense. I hope they take your suggestions and just make them a war team, if that's what they're meant for. But the team that I need is tech, and there's rumors, not that a tech team is coming, but a tech team is being tested. Right now, the rumor is Iron Man may be getting it empowered or is being tested with an empowered state with Hulkbuster. And 3 characters, one which is not a Marvel character that they're still trying to get the rights for, are also being tested. That character that is not a Marvel character, Soldier Zero. Also, we have characters Facade and Force, who I have not heard of at all. If these characters were coming to the game, how excited would you be? And if there were a tech solution coming to the game, how excited would that be, regardless of who these characters are?
I think the tech solution is a very important part of it. I do feel like that we knew that a empowered Iron Man might happen. That's been something that was teased since the last interview that Jason Bender did with a few of the folks here who interviewed. You take a look at the last year's interview.
Us.
No, it was the one after that they did with a magazine.
And Game Informer.
Game Informer.
Yes. Okay. I'll try to see if I can find a link for that.
Yeah. I think I still have that link. It was in the Twitter, who the interviewer in the Twitter basically said, there's one thing that missed out on the interview was he asked if there would ever be an empowered Iron Man. He said, when the moment calls for it.
The moment called for like 4 months ago with the tech coming.
Well,
the tech.
I think it's when we're quitting if we don't get a tech solution. That's the moment that they wait for. Right. So they're probably at that point pretty close to some people that are being frustrated. That being said, definitely a possibility. And, the characters are obscure, but I think some of those characters are checking some of the Marvel priorities, especially like Force and stuff like that are kind of, being reintroduced to the public. And so I think that they're definitely on their radar.
Okay. Well, that is it as far as the rumors. That's all I've heard. I mean, there's a couple others, but those are the most pressing rumors. Anything else that you want to discuss before we wrap this up, brother? This has been a fun time with you.
No, man, it's good. Thanks for having me back, Valley. I appreciate it. Thanks for being on the podcast. We gave you a little notice, and I apologize for not advance notice. We had some other, there's some other folks on there, and you've probably been our best guest.
Thank you. I'll put a link to that down below the podcast. I think the full video went on, did it go on your channel or Mobile's channel?
Mobile's channel. Okay. So all that stuff, the links to that will be down below. It was a fun conversation with the 3 of us talking about just general state of the game and a bunch of stuff. Anything else you want to promote before you go, brother? That's it. We catch me on Twitch. We'll be doing when the mode goes up, pretty much we're going to be going live. We're probably going to be live for most of the day on Friday from the blog all the way up to the way up through the pocket dimension, empty your pockets dimension. So definitely. What, you didn't hear that, Pete? Call that empty your pockets dimension?
I haven't heard that yet.
Yeah, that's because you could buy the health packs and refreshes.
You could buy those Resolute orbs. Those are so awesome.
Oh no, they're not. All right. Anyway, so all right. Thanks, Valley. I appreciate it.
Thank you, brother. Now, if this is your first time here, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. We do this every single week. We rotate the guests to give a fresh perspective, different areas of the game, and we release at least 5 Marvel Strike Force videos every single week. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and give it a thumbs up as well if you enjoyed it, if it's helpful for you, got some value out of this, because it does help the algorithm. And hit that notification bell. Join that squad, guys. I will see you guys next time. We got some other links down below of some sponsors that support the channel. Remanx, are you ready for that fist bump time?
I'm never ready.
Oh, well, it is here. Can we do it anyway? There it is. Oh, Remanx and ValleyFlyin out. Have a great rest of your day, guys.
Woo! That was news.
Woo-hoo. Yes.
So many teams coming out, man. Wow.
I hope so. I hope some of these teams come
Empty your pockets dimension. You didn't hear that? You really didn't hear that one?
That was the first time I heard that.
Okay.